Hey, okay, this week's parsha is Chukat. And the truth of the matter is that I'm not learning the parsha anymore with Netivot Shalom. So it's kind of like, no, I am on my own. But with my chavrusas, we're learning a book called She'arim B'Tfilah, The Gates of Prayer, by Rav Shimshon Pinkus, which is an amazing book that we did once learn before. But, um, it's amazing how this week's parsha, Chukat, is going to connect to the idea of prayer as well. And we're going to see that prayer is super, super important these days. Dafka in Israel, those of you who are not in Israel, prayer for Israel. It's extremely important. So I'm glad that we are actually focusing on that. And with a few other chavrusas that I have, I'm working on Tehillim. So there's a lot of prayer going on. And this week's parsha is Chukat. And Chukat has a few things going on there, but I'm going to focus on the sin of Moshe Rabbeinu before going into the land of Israel. He was asked to provide water for the Jewish people. The Jewish people were complaining there was no water because Miriam had died, and Miriam was Moshe's sister, obviously, and it was in her merit that the Jewish people had a well of water traveling with them in the desert. So once she died, that well sort of dried up. I can't imagine that they didn't have any other water, but whatever, they were complaining. There was no water, and Moshe was told to speak to the rock. Okay, speak. That's your first hint that we're going to be talking about prayer and speech and the power of speech. And instead, he said, Shim'una Hamorim, listen up, you rebels, or you fools. You're never, you just don't have any emunah. You're constantly complaining. And he was literally yelling at them, completely lost it. And a few commentaries say that it's because his sister had just died. There was a reason why, this happened. And not to say that it wasn't meant to be. It was meant to be because, unfortunately, as a result of this, Moshe did not get to go into the land, and obviously Hashem wanted him not to go into the land. But anyway, he lost his cool, and he hit the rock instead of speaking to the rock. And Hashem said to him, because you did this to me, because you me'antem lahakdisheni, you did not do a kiddush Hashem, you did not sanctify my name, and lo he'emantem bi lahakdisheni, also you did not believe in me. There was some kind of a lack of belief or lack of faith that was going on here. Now, that is so hard to believe and hard to understand. How could Moshe Rabbeinu lack belief, lack faith in Hashem? He is like the closest to Hashem. He knows everything about Hashem. So what happened here? What happened here? Why is it such a lack of Kiddush Hashem? You didn't sanctify my name. You didn't have faith in me. I mean, if you hit a rock in the middle of the desert and water comes out, that's also a miracle, just saying. That doesn't happen. That's not the rock's nature to bring forth water. And what's going on here with Moshe, and why was he so punished in such a terrible way that he wasn't allowed to come into Eretz Israel? He wasn't allowed to, it was claimed that he was not having enough faith in Hashem, and that he was not sanctifying Hashem's name. So Netivot Shalom says a few things, but also luckily, because I don't learn with my chavrusas anymore, and I have to kind of quickly come up with a Dvar Torah on Thursday afternoon or Friday morning, I go to Shira Smiles classes on Sunday, and she also spoke about this. And she brought a beautiful source. Let me try if I could see if I can figure out who it is. Wait, sorry about that. Okay, I'm not sure exactly who says this, but I'm going to read it to you. Maybe I'll figure it out later on. Yerkat Mordechai? I'm not sure exactly. She brings a million sources, so sometimes she's continuing another source, and I don't see what the name of the source is. Anyway, he says like this. There's two types, and also Netivot Shalom brings up this idea that basically you are there's different levels of emunah. You can have a very serious emunah, which is like, of course, you know that Hashem runs the world and He created you and everything is up to Hashem. But you have a hard time when it trickles down to, like, it's hard for you to really feel emotionally that Hashem is running the world for you on a regular basis. Like if something bad happens or if something scary happens, it's not easy, but you can work on it. And that's the second level, your emotions. It comes down to your emotions. It's not only in your mind, but then the absolute, like, last level of emunah, or highest level of emunah, is emunat ha'evarim, your limbs. Like you actually just react. Like sometimes I'll be in the car, right, with my husband, and he's driving, and of course I'm like the backseat driver or the passenger seat driver, and like I'm like, like I keep going like that, and he's like, why are you doing that? Don't do that. I know what I'm doing. I know how to drive. Husbands that say that to their wives. So I'm like, but I can't stop my reaction. I'm reacting. This is my body. I'm not deciding, oh, I don't trust the way my husband is driving. It might be the case. It's my subconscious, but I'm not like actually planning, okay, now I'm going to like, you don't plan it. It's a visceral reaction. It's a bodily reaction. So in terms of Hashem, let's say you have this emunah and you even feel Hashem's closeness to you. You feel Hashem's love. You're good. You and Hashem are good. But if, let's say, a terrorist is standing right in front of you, you're gonna freak out. You're gonna, oh my gosh, even though you know that Hashem runs the world, right? You know it. Or if your son is in the army, you have a fear, even though you know Hashem loves you, okay? But it's not enough. It's not enough. Your body reacts. You can't sleep. Your body's breaking down, as a friend of mine told me. Like, her son is in the army, and it's like, it's really horrible. Okay, so when they came out of Mitzrayim, when the Jewish people came out of Mitzrayim, there was a certain, obviously, level of emunah, which they reached, which is a very high level. They knew that Hashem had done all these miracles for them. They were walking in the desert. They saw the splitting of the Red Sea. All these things were happening, and they were reaching high levels of emunah. But they were complaining so much by the time they got to this point in the desert. This is like 40 years later, and they're really about to go into the land of Israel. And they had been complaining so much and were on such a low level, it seemed like, to Moshe. It seemed like that they were on a low level. And when you're on that low level, you can't, you have to put in more effort into your, like when you have a very, very high level of emunah, you can put in a little bit less effort. It's called bitachon. You put in a little less effort, you pull back a little bit, and you let Hashem show His face, and He does show His face, and He does help you out. Because if you're able to just like let go and let God, then Hashem will come through for you, and you can do a little bit less effort in your daily life. But if you don't, if you're a little bit nervous, if you're complaining, if you're fearful, then you have that need to put in more hishtadlut, more effort. So Moshe Rabbeinu felt that the Jewish people were on a low level, and they were complaining, and they really were not deserving of the miracle of a really high level emunah, which is like, you don't have to put in any effort. When you speak to the rock, then you don't have to do anything. Then that's not any effort at all. And so that kind of a miracle, he felt that the Jewish people did not deserve, because they were on a lower level. They were on a level of complaining and fear and anxiety and worries and stuff going on. So he felt that they needed to do an action. He needed to hit the rock to show that this is the level that they were on, and to give them a little bit of criticism, like, you guys, get with the program. I can't believe I have to hit the rock for you. But Hashem was saying to him, no, I am bringing the Jewish people into the land of Israel. And the land of Israel, and this is where I'm going to read this other source, Be'eretz Yisrael hu makom kodesh hakodashim. It's like the Holy of Holies. Makom hayichud hashalem haba mikoach habechira. When we come into the land of Israel, we are having this chosen relationship with Hashem, and we choose that closeness that is so close. Vehu makom hatfilah, ki beiti beit tfilah. This is the land of Israel, is the place of prayer, the place of when we speak to Hashem. We have such a close relationship. We speak to Hashem, and He does what we ask for. Okay, now this is the land of Israel, and Netivot Shalom says the same thing, that Moshe messed up because Moshe didn't understand that Hashem is bringing the Jewish people into the land of Israel now, and He wants to show them this is the way we operate in Israel. Up until now, we needed maybe, you're right, like there was this bitachon. If you have a certain level of emunah, you can put in a little bit less effort. If you have less emunah, you put in more effort. In the land of Israel, you just get with the program and you daven. You pray, and that's enough effort. If you just say to the rock, I need some water, the rock will bring you water. It's interesting because I thought from some other parshas and other sources, it seemed like Israel is the land where you go in and you have to actually put in more effort and more physical. So this is a different aspect that God was showing the Jewish people that they need tefillah. And Moshe really messed up that plan of Hashem. I mean, again, not intentionally, and Hashem wanted him to mess up because Hashem did not want it. That's a different topic. But Hashem was showing them that leharot ki chafetz b'tzidko leharot ahavato v'kirvato le'am krovo she'afilu be'et katnut. Hashem wanted to show His love for the Jewish people even if they're complaining. Leha'ir li'Yisrael he'ara. He wanted to bring this light to the Jewish people, to show them, this is what you're coming into Israel for. I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to do miracles for you. I'm going to love you, even if you mess up. So this connects obviously to tefillah, to the fact that I'm learning this book now. It's called Sharim B'Tefillah. I said that already before. Sorry. And it's about different methods and strategies to get the most out of your prayer, to get the most out of the relationship that you have with Hashem, and to use your prayer in an amazing way. Now, can I just tell you one crazy story? Sorry, I need to take this 2 minutes. Crazy story. I feel like, first of all, a lot of times I talk about emunah, and that if you speak it and you try and bring it out from the world of ideas into speech brings things into reality and actually can create reality. Okay, so you guys know everything, like what's going on here in Israel, and it's very, very upsetting, this whole rift in the Jewish people, because there are some religious people, like Haredi people, who don't feel that they need to go into the army. And this topic comes up a lot of times, and it's creating a rift and a machloket, and it's horrendous. It's terrible. And everybody should go to the army if they can. Yes. Okay. But I just want to say that. Okay. So nobody I don't think that every single Jewish male should go into the army if they can. On the other hand, we also know from the Torah and from the Tanakh that there is always people that protect the Jewish people through their learning and through their prayers. Okay, so I've been talking to my mother about this. My mother is very, very upset about this. She's very Zionistic, and she really feels that the very religious world is not enough involved in the situation with the nation going out to war. You have to be involved, and even if you're part of that nation who is in charge of the learning and the davening, you need to feel the pain, and you need to be totally, totally there. So, okay, you're not going to believe this. So this is 3 days ago. We were emailing, or we were talking on the family chat, and my mom was saying she had heard this one quote that finally made her feel a little bit better. She's been super upset, like so upset all the time. The one thing that made her feel a little bit better is that there was an interview with a yeshiva boy from Or Yisrael, from a very Haredi yeshiva in Israel. And the kid said, the kid from this yeshiva, about 17 years old, looked like, I would like to go to the army, but I feel like I'm learning a page of Gemara and I am saving a soldier. I learn another page and I am killing a terrorist. I learn another page and I am rescuing a hostage. I feel like I can't stop. I feel like I'm doing all of my learning is for the Jewish nation and for the army and for the soldiers. So my mother said, thank God, at least this one kid, okay? I wish other people would say that, but that made me so happy to hear this one interview. Okay, you're not going to believe this. This is 3 days ago. 2 days ago. 3 days ago. Okay, yesterday, my son, who goes to special needs school, yeshiva, comes home from school, and I hear him singing the song, just sitting on the couch. Comes home and he says, Shura achad Gemara, ani matzil chayal, one line of Gemara, and I'm saving a soldier. Another line of Gemara, and I kill a terrorist. Another line of Gemara. Like, okay, I'm like, Yehuda, where did you hear that? This is a song? It's crazy. I'm totally gonna cry because it freaks me out what happened. And he says, yeah, I learned this song in school. I can't believe I'm crying. I'm like, what do you mean you learned this song in school? It's not a song. He's like, yeah, it's the Himnon HaYeshivot. It's the theme song of the yeshiva world. This quote. And he's like, here, give me your phone. I'll find it for you. This is my kid with Down syndrome. Give me your phone. I'll find it for you. And I give him my phone. And sure enough, he Googles, Shura Achat Gemara, one line of Gemara is saving a chaya. And he brings up for me on Google that it became a song. And you hear on Google, you can Google it yourself, Shura Achat Gemara, Matzila Chaya. And it's a YouTube video of a singer singing this whole song. He put music to the quote. First they show the kid making this, saying this word. It's just coming from his heart. This is what he's thinking. And he brought it out into speech, into reality. And this singer took that one quote that finally my mother was happy about and made a song out of it. And then you see all these yeshiva guys. There was actually in the YouTube video, it became like, I can't imagine it became the theme of the yeshivot, but halavai, I wish, I hope it became a hymn, a theme song of the yeshiva. Himnon means like a camp song, like a cheer, and all these Hasidim and yeshiva guys are jumping up and down and singing Shura Achat Gemara. And to me, it just feels like, oh my God, Mashiach must be coming, because you just see how the power of speech brings something into reality. And I really, really want to bless everybody that we realize the power of prayer and the power of speech and the power of bringing something from our minds, and just like we have to just like hope it, pray it, say it out loud, and that Hashem will just make it into a reality, so that even that everybody, all the religious world will finally figure out that if they cannot go to the army, they should go to the army. But if they cannot, and if they are studying Torah, if they study it with that intention, that they are saving the Jewish people, that they are saving soldiers, that they are protecting our soldiers, that they are bringing back the hostages, and that they are killing the terrorists, Hamas, like, wow. I just like give everybody a bracha that we can just like really believe that, bring it into reality, and Hashem should just answer our prayers. Have a good Shabbat.